Hyrulean, have you ever had an ad running? It's doing great, making tons of money. Your parents are even proud of you, and then it just dies, and your parents won't talk to you anymore. Hopefully, all that has happened to you except the parents part, because if you run ads, you've had ads die on you. It's just what happens when you run ads. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix your ads. There's actually a series of questions and metrics you can look at. If you focus on these in this order, you'll get your ads fixed. That's it. I have nothing more to add to it, except if you want to win and get $3,000 in ad courses, every week in our community post area, I post links to these courses, and if you see this post, you can click the link and you'll get access to the courses for free. You won't see the link unless you're subscribed to this channel, so subscribe to this channel so you'll see the link, because I take it down after 24 hours. Now, let's get to the content. Let's get what we're here to talk about. Okay, guys, so let's talk about this. When your ad dies, I see people get super duper confused. They're like, why is my ad dead? What did I do wrong? And is it something that's happening in the ad manager? And I'm going to tell you straight up, no. It's not. I very rarely ever see anybody fix or revive their ad campaigns or take a campaign that's gone like this and bring it back up again because they've figured out some bidding technique in the ad manager, or there was something wrong with their audience. If an ad worked before and it stopped working, there's a very systematic way you can go about making the ad work again, if it will work again. Not all ads will work again, and not all offers are meant to go to distance. I must be incredibly straightforward with that. Everybody else who talks about ads and everybody else who talks about internet marketing, they act like you could sell anything online. There are some things people don't want to buy. The market's either full, the market's saturated, the product sucks, it's not interesting to them. There's been 1,000 other products and everybody that's bought has already bought. There's a billion things and reasons why people don't want to buy something, and it can happen to your product. So first off, one of the reasons why your ads might fail is because people aren't interested in what you're selling. You're gonna have to look at that. It's happened to me. It's gonna happen to anybody in any business. So just be aware of it. Next thing you need to look at is the layers of the ad. And this is how we're gonna detect which things are wrong, because there's the ad itself, there's the initial landing page, and then there's the offer. Okay, and there's the offer itself. And in some cases, there's gonna be the funnel between or after the offer is presented. So let's talk about this. When you're running and checking if your ads, why they stopped working, you need to be able to diagnose what exactly went wrong. Okay, is there a ton of money being spent with lower return? Have sales stopped? What's happening? So the first thing we want to look at is, first off, let's look at the visit to conversion rate, because this is going to be the number one thing. Okay, look at the visit to conversion rate. If 100 people still visited your offer and they're converting at 10%, you're probably good. Okay, and if this is good, if everything else has gone to hell, for example, we used to be able to get 100 people to our offer for $10, now it costs $50, and we're not seeing an ROI, that's where the problem is going to be at. But this is the most important thing to check, because this means people still want to buy your offer. This means people still want to get there. Okay, and so that's the most important thing to look at. Just look at your visitor ratio, the sales, particularly for a single campaign. All right, what a lot of people do is they have like 50 different campaigns. Well, guess what? These are 50 different types of people all coming through. You don't want to look at the overall of all these different people, because maybe one campaign is sending way more people than it used to, the other one's not. It's not an accurate metric. Look at your number one campaign and look at the conversion rate from that campaign of the people that clicked to the amount of people that bought. Well, how can you do that accurately? Well, you can use Hyros, because if you're not tracking your ads accurately, you're working off of inaccurate data. And for example, if you were trying to buy stocks in the stock market off of the wrong stock prices, guess what? You'd make the wrong choices. It's the same thing with ads. Please use Hyros or something to track your ads. There's a link below it. We literally guarantee you'll see a 20% increase in your ads. Literally guarantee you don't pay for it. Check it out. But this is what you need to do. If you can't track amount of people coming to your page and their conversion rate, then you already have another problem. All right, so once you confirm that, hey, look, people are still buying the offer, let's go down and actually look at what's going on here. We'll talk about if the offer is the problem, and that's a whole other bag of weeds right there. So first off, the ad. How do we know if the ad is the problem? Okay, well, if you look at the ad, you got to ask yourself a series of questions written right here. Okay, so look, here's the number one thing you got to look at. Did the CPC increase? Or the CPM. I usually don't like to look at these stats, but it can give you a hint. Okay, so did the CPC or CPM increase? If this did, there's only one reason why this happened. It's because people are not interacting with your ad the way they used to. That's what's happening. Now, of course, your network that you're running the ads on could have gotten more competitive or something. Your CPC or CPM, it's largely not going to spike up and down. You might see that with the iOS updates or whatnot, but usually you're not going to see a 100%, 200% increase. You're going to see a gradual increase over time because more people enter the market and the prices go up. So what do you do in this incident right here? Okay, well, what you want to do is you want to look at this, and then you want to look at the conversion rates, typical conversion rates in your landing page. For example, if it costs me $5 to get a CPL or an opt-in, and if I still have a 40% opt-in rate on my landing page, well, the reason why my ads aren't working, they're not working anymore, is because the CPC and CPM went up. Because either people are not interacting with my ads like they used to, or the cost simply went up. So what do we do in this situation? What's our option? We only have one option. Make the ads better. Make the ads more attention grabbing, get more clicks, and engage the customer more. Okay, that's really your only solution right there. Besides, in some cases, when you can't get the CPC or CPM down, well, you're just going to have to make everything else significantly better in your funnel so you can afford a higher CPC and CPM. That's going to be the case, especially as you scale. You need to ask yourself as well, all right, well, my ads working, or did they fall apart because I started scaling? Well, what happened is CPC and CPM gets more expensive because you start interacting with customers that are not as engaged as your smaller audience customers. If you're averaging or you're running ads to, let's say, $100 a day audience, that audience is going to be much more targeted than a $1,000 a day audience. So these are going to go up immensely. The way you scale is you make sure you have an ad and offer, landing page, and everything that can work at scale to a broader audience, or at least converts much higher. That's where most people fall apart. They say, why did my ad fall apart at scale? Well, it's because as soon as traffic actually gets somewhat expensive for you, you can't afford it anymore because your offer isn't converting high enough. Your pages aren't converting high enough. So that being said, if you look at your ad and your CPC has not gone up, but something's fallen apart, what you next want to go to is look at your landing page. Look at the metrics on it. Okay, there's a few things that could actually happen. Has anything changed on your landing page? Go through and test your funnel. This is something that most people don't do. There's been all sorts of times where I've looked at my funnel on a mobile phone and be like, oh crap, the headline is the size of the entire screen. Like it's not optimizing for a mobile phone, or it's redirecting, or it's loading 15 seconds too late on the screen. Let's fix this. Okay, that's the most no-brainer thing to do. Always check that out. Just do a quick rundown, load up your thing load it up on a phone, have other people load up your pages, load up it from different browsers. Just look at it. Just look at it. You might see something weird. Usually what's going to happen is it's probably going to be something wrong with the mobile phone. I've seen times where people can't opt in from their mobile phone, but they can opt in from desktop, and because you work on a desktop, you don't see that. So next thing you want to look at is, if that looks okay, look at the conversion rate on the landing page. Let's say we have an opt-in page. Are people still opting in at 30%? Are people still booking calls at the same amount? Okay. Look at the base lead stats. Okay. Look at the base lead stats. If you have an e-commerce store, are people adding the cart the same amount they used to? Okay. Look at these base stats. Because if people aren't doing these things, if, for example, they're not adding the cart like they used to, they're not opting in like they used to, they're not booking calls like they used to, obviously it's the landing page. Obviously the landing page. If your most important stat right here as well that you want to look at is, again, you want to look at, for example, our opt-in to buying the offer, our add to cart to buying the offer, our booking to buying the offer. Okay? If this stays the same right here, then we don't really have a problem with the offer. We have a problem with getting the initial first step done. So you have to look at the first step and say, okay, what's up with the first step? Is it the way the same it used to be? Okay? So you got to ask yourself again, what has changed in the campaign overall? Did we just start scaling the campaign? Did we start growing the campaign? If so, we're getting in a more broad audience that's getting us lower of these. Okay? So if our CPM and CPC is looking good as we scale, well, then what we got to look at is these things right here. All right, our add to cart's down. Well, you're going to have to get more people to add the cart. You're going to have to improve the copy on the page to get more people to want to buy the product. Simple. Okay? Our opt-in's down. You're going to have to improve the opt-in page. Get that opt-in page higher again. You're going to have to increase that. Increasing an opt-in page is the #1 way to increase the amount of revenue from your offer. The difference between 20% and 30% opt-in rate page on the actual conversions is insane, because you're getting in people 10%, or in this case right here, 30% cheaper, and you're getting in 30% more sales. It goes both ways when you do that. Okay. Same thing with bookings. What's going on? Okay, what's going on with the bookings? If you get people to opt in and book a call, why have they stopped booking? And did you just start scaling? That's always a big question you get asked. I just start scaling. But if you're scaling and it starts to fall apart, you want to look at why it's falling apart. If there's a specific part of your funnel that is operating the same way, say for example the ads and the clicks cost the same. Okay, well if these are falling apart, is there something else in the funnel that's falling apart? You don't have to actually kill all your scale if one part of it's working but the other parts are not. So finally, the most important part, if these are the same and this is the same, you got to look at the offer. Okay, and so the way you actually really get better results from your ads overall is you got to ask yourself these questions. So the best way to get results overall is you got to ask yourself these questions. Okay, so ask yourself these things. You got to ask yourself, has the market changed? For example, when I was doing my Shopify e-commerce offer, I was the first person on YouTube doing it. 2 years later, I was not the first person doing it. Has the market changed? Yes, in that situation. Yes, it did. Okay. Are there competitors that are simply better than you? Or are you the only one before? Now there's 15 other businesses. Are people just simply not buying this thing anymore? For example, people were buying SEO procs a few years ago in the Make Money Online niche. And then they started buying Shopify procs. And they started buying Amazon procs. I don't know what they're buying now. But it goes in seasons. People move on to other things. Now they're buying crypto procs, for example. Market changes. You got to be aware of this. Okay? No market stays the same for multiple years. Okay? What can the pages or sales pages do better? You got to look at it. Sometimes you just have really crappy pages that just don't sell the product well. And what can you do about the offer itself? Okay, so the sales page one is very simple, but what can you do about the offer to make it more unique or a better fit? For example, if you're selling the same thing as the entire marketplace, how can you make this product stand out? How can you make it a better fit for a specific type of customer? How could you even market to a different type of customer that is a better fit? For example, ConvertKit, when they were doing email marketing, they didn't compete with MailChimp and trying to recruit everybody who needed to send emails. They went after bloggers. They made the product that was most specific and functional for bloggers. Because of that, they could run ads to bloggers extremely efficiently. That's how they made a more unique product. That's how they got better product market fit. And that's the market needing something that you're selling that is not already being sold to them. It fits the market. It fits what is needed in the market, and the market badly wants exactly what you're selling. You can always change the market. You can change what you're selling. Look at this because it's important. Okay. You also have to ask yourself with procs. For example, when I was selling a proc based around building your business or whatnot, I'd ask myself, all right, at the end of the webinar, if a person's not buying it, why aren't they buying it? It's because they don't think it will work for them. So I got to ask myself, why don't people think this will work for them? Okay, do they understand it? Look at your pitch and offer and think, do people actually understand this? If I ask them, what are you buying and what's it going to do for you and how does it work? Can they do that? Because if a person doesn't understand what they're buying, they're not going to buy it. Okay, crazy little thing. Understanding is imperative for people to buy something. Okay, are they motivated enough to buy it? Okay, so for example, if I'm selling and I'm just going to use the Make Money Online example because it's so easy to explain because it's just a base human emotion. If a person is happy with their job and comfortable, why would they buy a Make Money Online product? Okay, if a person is happy with their body weight, why would they not? If they're comfortable being fat, why would they buy a weight loss product? What you need to do is if a person's comfortable with their acne and their skin, you have to make them uncomfortable with it. That's called causing a little bit of pain at the beginning of your sales pitch. Think about stuff like that. Are people in enough pain to buy something? People usually buy something, they get an emotion, and most times when they buy products, it escapes some sort of pain. Okay. For example, I bought this microphone because I watched my videos and it was painful for me to sound scoochy and not sound professional in my videos. So if I want to actually sell this microphone better, I would show videos of people having that painful problem and then showing how much it's losing them in sales, how embarrassing it is, how it makes them look stupid online compared to competitors. That will cause me pain. Then I'll buy a microphone. It's imperative. Are people in pain when they're doing that? Why don't people think it's a sure thing? You know, for example, if I was super mad about my microphone and I didn't buy this microphone, why don't I think this microphone will improve my results? A lot of times customers just don't think your product will work for them. Ask them. If you have like a webinar where you're selling like, I don't know, a guitar training class, why don't people think they will learn how to play guitar by the end of it? And then you can address that in your sales pitch. Well, I'm a beginner and I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. Address that in your sales pitch. Okay. Is it a sure, is the sure thing worth the price? For example, this microphone right here, I believe is 270 bucks. This better sound to me is worth it to me. If this thing was $10,000, I would not buy this microphone. I simply would not. I would find some alternative. You also have to ask yourself, is the thing you're selling, if it were to 100% work for the customer, worth it to them? So for example, if I was selling a Make Money Online course, of course making as much money as you want for the rest of your life, that's worth $100,000. The thing is, people don't believe it's a sure thing, therefore they're not going to buy it. So the price is relevant to them believing it's a sure thing. The more you can make them feel it's a sure thing, the more likely they're going to buy it, which can swing both ways, because if they buy something thinking it's a sure thing and it doesn't end up being a sure thing, you'll be in trouble. All right. So all the people that sell Make Money Online products, you be careful. And then finally, why don't they believe it's a sure thing? And then finally, if that's one of the cases, how can you remove the thing that stops it from being a sure thing? Can you do work for them? Can you fill in the blanks? Can you give them templates? Can you automate processes? Can you do it for them? For example, when people were buying Hyros, they'd worry if they could set up tracking on their own. We said, don't worry, we'll handle that part. Okay. So again, if you're not tracking your ads correctly, you should check out Hyros, because if you do, you'll make 20% more from your ad spend. Oh, here's another secret. All right, if your ads are broken, it might be because you're not tracking accurately and you're inaccurately bidding and spending the wrong amounts on the ads. And then you're also feeding that data back to the ad platform, which is bad data, instead of using accurate data, which leads to you even having worse targeting. So maybe if you like your ads are off by 20, 30% or something like that, maybe you should track them correctly. Maybe you should schedule a call with Hyros below. We guarantee you're going to see a 20 to 30% increase in your ads. So that being said, this is all I have for you in the video. This is how I have fixed every ad campaign I've ever had that can be fixed. Some ad campaigns need to be taken out back and shot. Okay, just laying out there. But this is how I fixed every single ad campaign that I've ever had a problem with. It never came from finding some secret bidding strategy in the ad manager. It always, 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 always came from focusing on those 3 different layers of the offer that I'm trying to sell via ads. So that being said, guys, this is all I got. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want actual help running your ads, check out my ad mastermind. So there's a link to that right below this video. It'll take you into a mastermind where I teach you how I run all my ads, how I've scaled multiple 8-figure businesses using ads. And then finally, be sure to check out the rest of this channel. I have so many free courses and training on how to grow ads, build your business with ads, and I do yell at and basically anything you could ever want to know about ads. If you want a more personal level to it, check out the mastermind below. If you don't, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. This has been Alex Becker, CEO of Hyros. Take it easy.